Welcome back, friends. Let's get into reading some of these Reddit stories. Am I the a-hole for telling my sister not to announce her pregnancy at my wedding because I was going to announce mine, but she did it anyway? Based on the title, I'm going to say you're not the a-hole, but let's see what happened. I, 29 female, got married 3 months ago to my amazing husband, 31 male. Congrats. It was supposed to be one of the happiest days of my life, but my sister, 32 female, managed to overshadow it in a way that I can't seem to move past. A little background, my husband and I have been trying for a baby for a while, and when we finally got that positive test, we were over the moon. We decided we would share the news with our family and friends at our wedding reception. Nothing crazy, just a small heartfelt moment during the speeches. Only my parents and my maid of honor knew about this plan. A few weeks before the wedding, my sister pulled me aside to tell me that she was pregnant. I was genuinely happy for her, and we had a sweet moment together. Then, she casually mentioned that she was planning to announce it at my wedding. I was shocked and told her as kindly as I could I would prefer that she didn't. I even explained why, because I was also pregnant and planning to share the news that day. I asked if she could wait just a little longer so the day could stay focused on the wedding. She seemed a bit annoyed, but didn't argue much, so I thought that was the end of it. Well, fast forward to the reception, and guess what? Right after the speeches, she stands up, clings her glass, and announces her pregnancy. The whole room erupts in cheers, and suddenly my wedding turns into her pregnancy celebration. I was stunned. I didn't even get a chance to share my own news because it felt like I'd just be trying to one-up her. Later, when I confronted her, she acted like I was overreacting and said she just couldn't keep it in anymore. When I told her how hurt I was, she said I was selfish for wanting to control when people share their happiness. My parents think she was out of line and are telling me to let it go for the sake of family peace. But I can't seem to move on. Every time I think about my wedding, I feel this bitter pit in my stomach because she took away a moment that was special for me. She, on the other hand, thinks I'm being dramatic and says I should be happy for her instead of making everything about myself. So am I the a-hole for not letting this go? No. And you have the right to make that day all about yourself. It's your wedding day and it was your news to share, and she, if anything, tried to one-up you on your wedding. So no, you're not the a-hole here, and honestly, I really hate whenever people say to let things go, to keep the peace. That's not your job. Your feelings are valid, feel how you feel, and if people don't like it, then they'll get over it eventually. And if they don't, then it's just ruining their day, not yours. But all in all, no, you're not the a-hole. But congrats on your wedding and your pregnancy. Would I be the a-hole if I went to IHOP without my husband? I'm going to say no, but let's see. Throw away because I know how you people love to tussle. For context, I'm 7 months pregnant. Congrats. I've been with my husband for 8 years, married for 3. We have a generally happy marriage and we don't fight too often. We made plans last night to grab breakfast today, Sunday, our usual day off together. It's also the first day of daylight savings. I woke up at my usual time like clockwork, usually 8 a.m., but today 9 a.m., starving. My husband isn't a morning person, and it usually takes him a while to get going in the morning, and he'll be groggy for a while after leaving the house. Since getting pregnant, I've been way more energetic in the morning and ready to start the day. Not sure if this is relevant, but he also smokes weed at night, an activity we used to do together, which I obviously had to stop. So that may have something to do with me having more energy in the morning and him not. Anyway, this morning I did my usual thing, which was getting up early, scrolling on my phone for a while before trying to wake up my husband, and finally, around 9:40, I started trying to wake him up because I was really hungry at that point and I wanted to get going to get breakfast together. I said something like, "Good morning," his name, "it's a beautiful Sunday," and first thing he said without opening his eyes was, "A great day to make your husband do things," which kind of made me feel bad. Oh, I know having a super pregnant wife isn't easy, but I can't necessarily help it, and there are things I ask him to do when he has free time because I can't do as much as I used to. But I responded with, "What do you mean? I just want to go get breakfast because we're hungry." And he just rolled over and went back to sleep. A few minutes later, I tried again, caressing him a bit on the cheek and saying something like, "Good morning, let's go get breakfast." To which he replied, eyes still closed, "What else do you want me to do today?" And I said, "What?" To which he said, "What else am I doing after breakfast?" So I said, "Buying wet cat food for the cats." "Yeah, what else?" "Building a bassinet." Then what he said was a blur at this point, but I think it was something like, "That's what I do, whatever you ask," and went back to sleep. I turned on my side and I scrolled for a bit longer, but I was annoyed at this point because we've had talks about him saying things like this when I'm in a position where I literally need him and can't help the state I'm in. Just getting off the bed is a struggle. Anyway, I decided to let him have what he wants and go get breakfast by myself, a decision I think he'll be upset by once he wakes up and realizes we won't be having breakfast together, which we usually enjoy doing. I'm currently sitting in my car in the parking lot of our apartment complex. Would I be the a-hole if I had breakfast without him? I'm sorry that he is saying those things to you at the moment. I know that it's stressful whenever you feel like you're asking too much of your partner. When I was pregnant both times, I felt like I was basically just asking my husband to do way too much, but then I had to give myself some grace because I needed that help. But anyway, as far as if you'd be the a-hole, I'm gonna say no, because he wouldn't get up, and when you're pregnant and you are hungry, you just get more and more angry, which is why they say, like, eat when you're hungry. But yeah, I mean, I would say maybe just bring something back for him, because then he can't be too mad, because you still brought him food. Am I the a-hole for waving to a toddler whilst the parents weren't looking? If all you did was wave, I'm going to say no. I, 27 female, was just out for a walk in my regular area. Saw ahead that a small female kid was standing in the back of what I'm assuming was the parents' car. Parked and all, they were just unloading things from the car. Could see the kid was clearly staring at me like kids do, so when I was close enough, I smiled and waved. I also stopped for a second and said, "Hey," but kept on walking. Next thing, the mom and dad are flagging me down to say, "Hey, don't ever do that again," saying all kinds. I just said something like, "Hey, I didn't mean anything by it," and kept on walking, but heard some choice words come out before I turned the corner. I don't have kids, so I don't really know the protocol or etiquette, but should I have just not engaged? Am I the a-hole for saying hey to a toddler kid, not sure on the age? No, I mean, personally, I wouldn't say you are. My kid likes to wave and talk to everybody, so if someone waves and says hey and just keeps walking, like, I don't see a problem with it. Just personally. Am I the a-hole for refusing to give my parents access to my savings? I'm going to say no, because it's your savings. I, 28 female, have been financially independent since I was 18. I worked through college, took on side gigs, and budgeted aggressively to build up my savings. I didn't grow up with much. My parents always struggled with money, and I saw firsthand how stressful financial instability was. That's why I was so determined to create a safety net for myself. Recently, my parents found out that I was have a significant amount saved. I didn't tell them directly. My younger sister let it slip in conversation. The moment they heard, it was like a switch flipped. Suddenly, they started making comments about how families should support each other and how they sacrificed so much to raise me. Then they got more direct, asking for money to pay off their debts and help with their mortgage. I love my parents, but they've never been great with money. They've always lived paycheck to paycheck, spending beyond their means and making impulsive financial decisions. They've taken out loans they couldn't afford, co-signed for family members who never paid them back, and spent money on luxuries while struggling to cover basics. I knew that if I gave them anything, it would be a one-time thing. It would open the door to them relying on me permanently. I told them no. I explained that I worked hard to build my savings and wasn't in a position to go just hand over large amounts of money. They weren't happy. My mom started crying, saying she never thought her daughter would turn her back on family. My dad got angry, saying if I had enough to save, then I have enough to share. They even suggested that if I didn't want to donate the money, I could at least give them a loan, though they had no actual plan to pay it back. When I still refused, things got worse. They started calling me selfish and ungrateful, reminding me of everything they did for me growing up. My sister has taken their side, saying I have more than enough and should help the people who raised me. Even extended family has chimed in, acting like I'm hoarding wealth while my parents struggle. But no one seems to acknowledge that I got here by being responsible while they made bad choices. Now I feel stuck. I don't want to ruin my relationship with my family, but I also don't want to be treated like a walking bank account. Am I really the bad guy for wanting to keep what I worked so hard for? Or did I just finally see the truth that to my family, my value is only measured by what I can provide? Am I the a-hole for choosing financial security over being treated like a personal ATM? Or did I just finally realize that my family love only goes as far as my wallet? You are not the a-hole by any means, and it's not even fair of them to throw that in your face. They're your parents. They chose to have you. Raising you is their job, their responsibility. That's not something that the kids are responsible for. So no, you owe them nothing. And you worked hard to save that money. Save that money. Do not let them bully you into giving them anything, because they don't deserve it. And if they're going to treat you that way, then go no contact, whatever, that's your choice. But I personally wouldn't even associate with these people anymore. And also, I don't know if anyone's told you, but I'm proud of you for working hard and saving what you got, because I personally need to work on that myself. And I don't even know you, but proud of you. Am I the a-hole for not giving my boyfriend equity in my home? If it's your home, you wouldn't be the a-hole, because that would be your choice, but let's see. We have been together for 7 years. We have some passive income we built together that we share to pay all of our bills and split the profit. I work and he does not. He just lives off of the passive income. I have been saving the extra money I made from working. He has not saved. His reason for not saving is he spends it on us. We both spend our income on us. I bought a home with a friend recently. We both paid all cash for it since I didn't get a loan. Yes, my boyfriend helped me with the process of negotiating, etc., but he did not put any cash into it. I plan to Airbnb the new property. He gets to stay there for free, and I'm going to split the new rental income with him. The house needs work and renovations, painting, cleaning, etc. He started to help me with it and then said, "Why am I making you richer without equity?" So I said, "Don't worry, you don't have to do the work." Then I also said, "I could possibly pay you for the time." He said, "I don't want to be your employee and am insulted. I thought we were building a life together." So now he is demanding half of my share, 25%, or he's going to leave me. I said I want to stay together. I love him. We can buy a place in the future together if we both save. But no, I won't give him a percentage. He said he's leaving. Am I the a-hole? No. Absolutely not. If he's not putting any money into this, then he has no right to be demanding money, especially if you were going to give him half of the income, whatever, anyway. He's honestly getting more than he deserves right now. So no, if he wants to leave, let him leave, because obviously he's putting a price on your relationship. Am I the a-hole for not letting my sister and brother-in-law stay with me when they were between moves? I'm going to say no, because that sounds like it's just your choice, but we'll see. Me, 35 female, and my sister, 33 female, were not super close in our teenage years, but got along a lot better in our 20s. We had a very chaotic upbringing with a lot of neglect, so our relationship with our mother was not the best. My sister and my mom fought a lot, and my sister was convinced my mom was the reason for everything that has ever went wrong in her life. After my mother passed, I somehow became that person. I am still confused about that one. A few years after my mother died, I was diagnosed with cancer. It was really scary. I told her, and she never checked on me, never came to the hospital, or even asked how I was. She also told people that I was lying about it. I was stunned, just floored. I never thought that she would not at least see how I was. About 18 months after this was COVID. I lost my job and my apartment, and I was homeless and just depressed, and I asked if I could stay with her and her husband until I could find work. Her answer was no, sorry, we just can't do that. I had to stay in my car and the shelter. So when she asked if she could stay with me a couple of weeks until her apartment was ready, I said, no, sorry, I can't do that. Some of my friends and family members think I'm being petty and I should let her stay. Should I? No, absolutely not. You are not the a-hole, and I feel like your answer was just the right amount of petty. And I would have done the same thing. Like, no, what goes around comes around. She can't expect you to do what she would not do. Am I the a-hole for calling off my wedding after my fiancé bought a house with his mom? Sounds like you guys need to be on an episode of Smothered, but we'll see. Okay, so me, 28 female, and my fiancé, 30 male, have been together for 5 years. We were planning our wedding for this fall and have been talking for years about our future, like kids, finances, and buying a house together. We had a whole plan to save up, find something we both loved, and make it our home. This was talked about a lot. Well, turns out he already bought a house, but not with me, with his mom. And he didn't even tell me he was looking. Apparently, she found the perfect place and convinced him to split it with her because she didn't want to rent anymore. So now, instead of us planning our future together, he's financially tied to his mother, who's going to be living there full time. I just stared at him like, WTF. And when I asked where I fit into all of this, he goes, oh, well, you can move in too, of course. Like, I'm supposed to be thrilled to live in a house with his mom that she picked out, apparently owns, and is just there all the time. He also admitted he did it because I was taking too long to save, and his mom offered him a faster way to own something. I was so shocked and pissed. I told him I needed space. And the more I thought about it, the more I realized I can't marry someone who thinks this is normal. So I called off the wedding, and now his whole family is blowing up my phone saying I'm being dramatic, that it's just a house, and that I'm overreacting because we can still live together. Even my own parents are saying canceling the whole wedding is extreme. Like, am I losing my mind? Am I the a-hole, or is this a giant red flag? Oh, nah, girl, I know I said smother, but you need to be with I'm in love with a mama's boy, because that's... No, you are not the a-hole for calling off your wedding. That is a huge red flag. If he can't, like, let go of his mom, like, even long enough to, like, live away from her, like, no. And the fact that he said it was your fault that he chose to buy a place with his mom... Nah, you got out of there just the right time. You're not overreacting. Am I the a-hole for telling my sister I won't be her surrogate? I'm going to say no because it's your body, your choice, but let's see. My mom is a woman that loves kids. She doesn't have grandkids, but she wants many. Since she only has 2 daughters, she expects my sister and I to have kids. I am the one that doesn't want kids because what's the point of them? Years ago, I was pregnant, but the baby was a stillborn. I didn't ask to be pregnant, so that was a horrible moment for me. I wasn't ready, and it's not really my purpose in life to have kids. I don't want the sickness, and I definitely don't want to go through a pregnancy that can ruin my body. I've been vocal about my opinion for years, even though some people try to push me to the limit. My sister doesn't have kids, but she wants a big family. She's been trying to have a baby with her husband, but she ends up having a miscarriage. It is sad because she really wants kids. She stopped being the productive person she used to be because she went into a depression. She's been having this problem for years. She doesn't want to foster because she wants a blood baby. My mom isn't taking it easy and is trying to get me to have kids. My mom had many miscarriages before she had me and my sister, so that's why she loves kids. What I didn't know was that I would be asked a serious question. I have my own life ahead of me to have a big commitment with me for life. My sister called and she was very serious. I noticed she sounded low and weak in the voice. She asked if I could be a surrogate for her to have a baby. She agreed she would pay me whatever amount. At first, I was too shocked to speak because what do you say in these situations? My sister and her husband wanted someone in the family rather than a stranger, so I guess I was their best pick. Her husband can't ask his family because he doesn't talk to them because they are very abusive people. I was being honest. I told her I don't want to be her surrogate, and of course she took this badly. I understand her husband was the one who got me a house, and I owe him that, but this isn't the one. She started crying and she went off on me, calling me the a-hole. You aren't the a-hole for telling her that you won't be her surrogate because that's just how you feel. Like I said, it's your body, so you get to choose what you do with it. And I feel bad for your sister. I really do. I feel for her because I've had a miscarriage before and it's not fun, but it's not fair to ask someone who has made it very clear that they don't want to get pregnant at all. It's not fair to expect them to say yes to such a big commitment. Thanks for watching, friends. Please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and let me know if there are any other topics that you would like for me to cover. See you next time.